Hello everybody, this is going to be a quick video on effective and ineffective strategies of reducing aggression. All right, so one effective way of reducing aggression is by working on one of the crucial factors in aggression, and that's attributions of hostile intent. All right, we're more likely to aggress against someone when we believe that they intend to be hostile, when we believe that they mean to do us harm. When these beliefs of hostile intent are subverted, when they're altered, aggression drops. So we're far less likely to aggress against someone when we believe they didn't mean to do what they did. If they aggress against us, right? If we don't believe that they intended to do it, we're probably not going to be inclined to aggress against them. If somebody, cuts us off, and then, we track them down and we come up on them, please don't do this. This is road rage. This is a bad idea. You can go to jail for this. It's a terrible idea. But let's imagine you did, right? And then you find out that the person didn't realize that you were there. Maybe it was a cloudy day and you drive a silver car, right? So you blend into the sky behind you, right? So then they didn't intend to cut you off. They didn't want to. And had they known you were there, they wouldn't have done it, right? So think about what happens when people say, "I'm sorry," right? What are they conveying? They're conveying that they had no interest in being hostile, that they had no hostile intent, right? So things like apologizing or offering explanations for why the harm was done that are reasonable, right? These tend to act on our impressions of hostile intent, and by reducing them, and when we subvert those beliefs that we have of hostile intention, we tend to be less inclined to aggress. So again, somebody spills a drink on you, right? If they say sorry, right, then we know, and if we believe them when they say that they're sorry, we may still be angry, but we're not going to be as likely to hurt them or punch them or do anything, because we hear them say they're sorry, meaning they didn't mean to do it, right? We're no longer assuming hostile intention on their part. But let's say they spilled a drink on us, looked at us, and walked off, right? Well, now there's no question about it. There's hostile intent there. So now we're probably going to get up in their face, right? So here we go. This is one way to reduce hostility, and that is by removing or making it clear that no hostile intention was present. Okay. Another semi-effective method of reducing aggression is punishment. Okay. Now, the reason I say semi-effective is because we tend to think that punishment is this silver bullet, right? We'll just, make the punishments that they could be given for aggressing steeper and harsher, and that'll fix it. And to some degree, that's true. But it's not as much of a silver bullet as we want to think it is. In fact, punishment only seems to prevent aggression under a very limited set of circumstances. All right, specifically, that punishment has to meet 4 criteria. It has to be quick, it has to be strong, it has to be certain, and it has to be justified. All right, if it's not quick, so if you do it and you're not immediately punished, right? If it's not strong, right? So again, the one that everybody focuses on, if it's just a slap on the wrist, who cares? I'm going to keep doing it, right? So if it's not strong, if it's not certain, if you could get away with it, right? If you could get away with it, then punishment doesn't work. And if it's justified, if the punishment is a reasonable match to the crime, right? Then and only then, in those 4 circumstances, will punishment work. If any of those are messed up, then punishment doesn't work. All right. If you behead everybody for every little crime, then that doesn't necessarily reduce the chances of crime. All right. So yeah, it has to be strong. Yeah, but it also needs to be quick and certain and justified. Okay, or justifiable. Okay. So that's why I say punishment is a and there's even some work that suggests that if you make the punishment too severe, it actually has the opposite effect. Namely, people will not engage in the crime when they can be easily caught, but when people that might call them out on it or people that might punish them are away, they might actually engage in the behavior more frequently. So punishment only works under very circumscribed situations. So, hostile intentions, reducing those, that's pretty effective. Punishment, it's effective under those very under those very precise set of circumstances. But what about another one? What about reducing aggression by having people express their aggression in a more socially acceptable way, right? So if you're angry, go punch a punching bag, right? We hear this all the time, right? It's all over TV shows. It's coming out of every relative's mouth, all right? We hear it all the time. And this is built out of some ideas that Freud had about catharsis. Basically, he had the idea that if these negative impulses are never expressed, and they'll build up and they'll build up, and they eventually explode, kind of like and it's called it kind of works like a valve, all right. If you shut off if you shut off an escape, right, and pressure just builds up and builds up and builds up in something, and if it continues to build, the container that pressure is building up in will eventually explode, all right. And the idea that Freud had was very similar, that if we had these frustrations, they would eventually build up and we would explode in an act of aggression. Well, his idea then was, well, express it, and that way it doesn't keep building up. So go punch a punching bag. Well, what research has found over the last several decades is that having someone go engage in an aggressive activity like punching a punching bag actually prolongs the aggression. It doesn't actually remove it. It keeps it going. So telling somebody to go punch a pillow or scream, all right, that doesn't actually remove the aggression. It keeps it going, all right? And that makes sense. You're wanting to act aggressively. You act aggressively. It just keeps going, all right? So you keep the information accessible in memory. And so acting aggressively doesn't actually seem to do the trick. In fact, it seems to do the exact opposite of what people want it to do. So what is an effective method? Because expression isn't necessarily the problem. It's the manner of expression. Expressing aggression aggressively sustains the aggression. But expressing aggression calmly and in a controlled fashion, in a reflective fashion, that actually does reduce aggression. But based on other videos that I've posted, it should make sense why expressing aggression in a controlled way would reduce aggression. Because when you're expressing aggression in a controlled way, you're engaging in self-control, all right? You're beginning, and if we go back to the general aggression model, which I talk about in another video, by expressing the aggression in a controlled way, and by that I mean, expressing, thinking about why you are feeling aggressively and trying to express that in a very controlled way, right? That act of controlling helps reduce the aggression, because you're engaging in self-control, right? And so, but another way that and probably one of the bigger ways, is that it's distracting you. All right. If you think about something else, or you think about why you're being aggressive, then you're not necessarily focused on the frustrator specifically anymore. You're focused, I mean, certainly you're probably thinking about it, but you're thinking about, well, why would it be frustrating to me? Why would it be frustrating in this situation? So you're beginning to think of other things. But expressing aggression in this controlled way, like journaling or something, talking to a friend about why you're aggressive, all right, and trying to express in a succinct fashion, why you're feeling that way. These are effective methods of expressing aggression that actually do reduce aggression. Going and punching a punching bag, no, that doesn't seem to work. That just helps it. All right. All right, guys, that's it for this video on how to reduce aggression. We covered some more effective and less effective ways of reducing aggression, and hopefully I've dispelled one major misconception about going and punching a punching bag or pillow. So that's it for this video. As always, if you have any questions, send them my way. If not, have a great week, and I'll see you later.